Hi Moglets, it is Ineffa God Mode Day. Wanna get her C1 at least. I know C2 is powerful, but it just increased her personal damage, which I know is important. She's a sub DPS. But personally, I've always been more interested in the ability to buff others via her C1 here, 50% lunar charge. Obviously for a future character that is a lunar charge DPS or works with that in some way. Everyone already knows who I'm talking about. I'm not sure why I'm still being vague about it, but yeah, I just err on the side of caution when it comes to stuff that's not actually released yet. But yeah, we got about 100 pulls we can play with here. We actually had really good luck as far as I remember. We have like a double 5-star, I think, here. Yeah, Ineffa and Kenchig. Hoping we can keep that rolling. If we have very good luck, we'll try and pick up another Fractured Halo to test if the buff stacks like we were talking about in the weapon video. That information might be out there already, but I have trusted information out there before and it turned out to be wrong. So when possible, I like to test those types of things myself. So this was originally going to be God Mode Ineffa Day, but we got so incredibly sidetracked with the weapon thing, I just decided to do God Mode later and have this as a separate video because I think it is actually pretty important and I don't want it to get lost in a random character God Mode. But sure, let's get started. We are currently at 2 pity. Won't be too much to say. We're not going for any of the 4-stars, so we're just gonna keep pulling and hope we get lucky here. We do have a 4-star, double 4-star. I still appreciate it, you know, extra masterless in there. Next 10 pull, here we go. We're at 12 pity, going up to 22. I usually do these live, so I have like chat to banter with, but I figured since the summon portion will be pretty short anyway, it wasn't too much point. Got a Sing Show and like a sack of greatsword or whatever. Next 10 pull, going up to 40. Oops, pressed that too early. Doesn't matter, it was a 4-star anyway. Another Sing Show in there, so yeah. All right, we're at 42, so not super early, but if we at least win 50-50, I will go for the second weapon. 52 now, still purple. Let's go ahead and skip. Sing Show, been really spamming me with Sing Shows, which is fine. Doesn't really matter, I don't need anyone here. And 62, okay. Gotta go to soft pity, it seems. And 72, yep, okay. Again, can't really complain. It started off so good, but let's go ahead and do some singles. 73, 74, 75 is a purple, just a Favonius Lance there, unfortunately. And this would be like soft pity start or something. 77, okay, 77, come on, win 50-50, please. Oh, we did, but at 77. Damn, 77. We only have 23 of these pulls left. Where are we at here? Probably 0, 2? Okay. If we get a 5-star with the pulls we have left and it's not Fractured Halo, we'll go till we get Fractured Halo. But if we don't get anything, then we don't get a fate point and we can kind of save the pity for next weapon banner. I mean, we would have to get very lucky to get a 5-star. You know, it would have to be like soft pity. Let's go ahead and use those primos though. 32, yes indeed. I will check the shop. We do have a few masterless, but only 37. We'll get 11, so we have 2 10 pulls. First one is a purple, got a Gomming there. And here we go, last chance. If it's not gold, I give up. All right, unfortunate. But we didn't really lose much, I guess, because we're still at 52 for the next weapon banner. Actually, you know what? Getting a second Starcaller's Watch wouldn't be bad. It also has a party-wide buff, so we could, you know, it still wouldn't be the same as directly testing Halo, but unlike the Gravestone we did test, it's not an attack boost, it's a damage boost, which is different and I would argue closer to Fractured Halo's lunar charge buff than attack. Well, if I just stand on these logs, I will get a bunch of Genesis crystals if I just jump a few times. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there we go. There we go. 8,080 for every time we jumped. Thanks, log gods. I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night if I don't get this weapon, so let's just do it. There is 62 pity, so we're very, very close now to the weapon pity. We'll just do another 10 pull, you know, see what's going on there. This is most likely it, yes. But do we get the Halo? 63, 64, 65, Favonius? Oh no, dude, the worst case scenario, it wasn't even the other one, the other good one, you know, man. All right, well, we're guaranteed it now, I guess. What do you mean, I guess? No, like, it couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been worse. Whatever. We're in too deep now. We have the stupid fate point. It would be dumb to leave now, I guess. The fate points don't carry over. Let's just hope we get a tiny bit lucky. There's 26 pity. There's that next 10 pull. I don't really care about what we get if it's not the 5-star. Okay, 36. It's gonna make us go to 80, isn't it? 46. Jesus, I knew that wasn't a good idea. 56. Come on. There we go. I mean, I guess it could have been a little later, but not that much. 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 3. Okay, it's coming right at the end as well. At 66, I guess. There we go. That was one of the most painful weapons I think ever. We needed 13k primos for that weapon. That's crazy. I don't think it's ever been that bad before. I usually have decent luck with weapons, but okay, I mean, decent luck with Ineffa, I guess, overall, so it's fine. I do regret going for it now, because we had such bad luck, but, you know, we can answer the question now, which is something. So like with the weapon video, we will start with these three, and none of them will actually have Fractured Halo right now. We'll just give Zhongli Staff of Homa. Actually, we'll just give them both Staff of Homa, because they have like the same base stats. So the first order of business is get like the non-buffed lunar charge damage. We can just take a look at Ineffa's, which is currently 30,000. That is probably her robot. We already figured out crystallized count, so I'm probably just gonna make normal Zhongli shields. But yeah, we're seeing pretty consistently there. Oh wait, no, there was a 36. Oh right, when we get a shield with Zhongli, Masanori's resistance gets decreased, which of course does increase lunar charge damage. So let's just, I guess, make sure we always have a Zhongli shield when we're looking at numbers in this case. And yeah, we are seeing at max 36. Oh wait, I would have to raise it as well. No, I don't. I don't have to raise it, right? I honestly don't want to raise it until I'm confident they can stack. Because if they can't, I'm probably just going to feed it into the first one, get that to R2. Actually, just looking at Ineffa's robot attacks, which we are, and that is also considered lunar charge damage, Zhongli's stats really shouldn't matter. We were seeing 36Ks, so let's see what we're doing now. Let's go ahead and get that shield from Zhongli there. 43.9. Okay, that is most likely her robot attacking, which is what we want to look at, really. There is a 40k now. Because Zhongli has tenacity, it's possible we're not always having the stacks because Masanori is moving around, but since the question is, does it stack? That's enough information. If we see significantly higher than 43.9, say around 50k when we give her Fractured Halo, then we can be pretty confident it stacks. We might still get a small natural damage increase, even if they don't stack, but it should be obvious one way or the other. What do we got? 41. Wait, does she do more damage with Homa? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, we can pretty confidently say it doesn't stack. Well, there's the 44. So she does a little more damage with her signature, but it doesn't stack. It definitely doesn't stack. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Can I have a refund? Genshin, can you give me my Primo gems back? You can take the weapon. Man, this sucks. But at least we know, I guess. It works the same as Gravestone. It just overwrites the buff, which is completely pointless in Fractured Halo's case because it lasts 20 seconds. At least with Gravestone, it has a 30-second cooldown and a 12-second duration, so you could, you know, maybe strategize a bit to increase that big attack buff. But yeah, that's something I didn't really think about until now. It is the default. When you have the same buff, it doesn't stack, it overwrites. There's like one weapon, I think this Catalyst, Wandering Evenstar, that specifically says multiple instances of this weapon can allow this buff to stack. So going forward, I'm just going to assume that's the default, that buffs overwrite each other instead of stacking, and they will stack if it specifically says they stack. Again though, I don't have multiples of every weapon with Team White buffs, so I still can't say anything for certainty, but I can say multiple Fractured Halos don't stack. I want to do it again though. I want to make absolutely sure, but like, there's no way it stacks. We're doing 44.9 now, which again is a little higher than it was before, but it's not a 40% buff higher. I mean, it should be pretty easy to prove. If we just go back to Staff of Homa from Fractured Halo, and you'll see that our damage most likely doesn't change at all. Here we go, creating the shield, 44.9, exactly the same. I mean, sure, let's pay attention to the actual reaction numbers, though that shouldn't make a difference either. Let's see here. So that 29,000 was the actual reaction, the 14,000, 26,000, 29,000, but sure. All I know is with the actual reaction damage, we did not break 30k, so we'll just have that as our benchmark. 44k is her robot attack. There's a 26. 26. Yeah, it's like roughly the same. We got a 29 in there as well. So I know our testing methodology isn't like super scientific or anything, but it seems pretty clear to me. One Fractured Halo really increases lunar charge damage. Two of them don't do anything. I don't think I need to be breaking out the formulas again for that. Now the question is, do we refine it to R2 or just keep it as a weapon? Ignoring the lunar charge buff and that it doesn't stack, it's still a solid weapon. 608 base, 66 crit damage, 24 attack for pretty much any polearm user. It is basically Staff Staff of Homa without, you know, the weird HP requirement and being under half for the extra. I mean, sure, to the right character, Staff of Homa can give more attack overall, but how about just like a normal attack scaling character like Escoffier? She is currently slightly above half HP, and we have 2020 attack. Just out of curiosity, let's switch over to Fractured Halo. So now we're at 1839, but we do not have the 24% attack buff yet. So let's go ahead and get that with the E. It's incredibly easy to trigger. And now we have 2069, 50 more attack. It's very close either way. So of course, if Escoffier is under 50%, it most likely wins. Yes, by quite a bit. We have 2247 now. The problem is Escoffier will never naturally be under 50% HP, even though she pairs very well with Farina and her HP eating pets. Since they'll only eat your HP if you're over 50%, I guess maybe every now and then one of them can consume 3.6% while you're at 51%, and thus you'd be under. But like, especially in Escoffier's case, she's a healer, so it wouldn't last for very long anyway. And I don't know where this really turned into a Homa versus Fractured Halo, but I guess for stat stick reasons, they are pretty equal, and Homa is generally regarded as a very good, like, general polearm. So if you just ignore the Lunar Charge buff, it is, you know, pretty similar. Which is, I guess, to say, if you don't have a ton of polearms, what the hell are you doing with 2 Fractured Halo, and who am I talking to? Since I already have 2 Homas, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and refine it. But like, if you somehow by some freak accident got 2 Fractured Halos like at once, then and you don't have a ton of polearm options, then sure, don't refine it. So it definitely doesn't stack. There's no universe where it does stack. There's nothing I'm missing. There's nothing I'm overlooking, right? Please tell me that's the case, because when I refine this, there's no going back. Maybe Zhongli has like a secret talent or something in his constellation that specifically doesn't allow Fractured Halo to stack when he's in the team, and it's Monday afternoon. I joke, but that is kind of what this game feels like sometimes, so I'm like always second guessing everything. But all right, I'm gonna refine it. Before I do, let's take one more look at her Lunar Charge damage, and then we'll refine it and can compare that, I guess. Maybe it's because I wasn't in a full team. It wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't, but you know, I'm gonna test it anyway. So yeah, we're seeing that very familiar 4499 attack from Ineffa's robot. We will, for the last time, give Zhongli the level 1 Fractured Halo, and it is the exact same number, down to the single digit, 44992. There's nothing else to it. They just don't stack. I just can't accept it for some reason. I mean, just throwing it in, it kind of stacks a little bit already. We at least get a 10% Lunar Charge increase. It's not 40%. We would need 4 of them for that. Yeah, I guess that might be kind of bad for like the Uber whales. If you could just get 2 Fractured Halos and get the 80% Lunar Charge damage buff, you would need to get 5 of them to get the same 80%. I don't think that's why it's actually like that. Probably. Maybe it is. I have no idea. I think more so it's just an interesting topic because Lunar Charge is such like a new damage source and there's not many ways to buff it right now. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's do this thing. I feel immense regret. Not really by refining it, just by getting it at all in the first place. Would have been fine if they at least stacked, but let's see what we get from that buff now. We're still just not using Farina. She's there. 48. Yeah, from 40, I guess basically 45k to 48k. Is a buff. Let's make sure that is the max number we can see. Oh, he's dead. Oh wait, well 45 to 48 is still just 3k extra damage, which yeah, isn't worth the 150 pulls or something I needed for the weapon. 48-0. So yeah, it's a tiny bit more than like 3k extra damage. Again though, I guess because it is a team-wide Lunar Charge buff, the reaction damage, you know, in a proper team would probably be better as well. But okay, I do apologize. This basically turned into weapon video part 2. Honest to God, while making the weapon video, I just didn't want to summon for another one. I think something in my gut told me they don't stack, it's not worth it, don't do it. And again, even if they did stack, I'm still not sure it would be worth it anyway. I hope you understand I don't want to attach this giant mess to the beginning of God Mode, so I will have them as separate videos. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.